Okay, servers launch in 30 seconds. I've got the character creator ready. Name typed Arthas. Just need to hit create the second servers go live. Come on, this name is perfect. I've been planning this for months. Create character. Yes. Loading.
This name is already taken.
What? How? The server's just launched. Arthas, level 1, human warrior. Last seen 2 minutes ago. They created the character and logged off. They're not even playing. Let me check the other faction. Arthas, level 1, orc warrior. Same person. They made it on both factions just to lock it down.
Hey, saw you trying for Arthas. I'll sell it to you for 50,000 gold.
You're selling my name? You took it just to ransom it back to me?
Supply and demand, friend. You want the name? I have it. 50,000 gold, or I'm keeping it forever.
This is insane. It's a character name.
It's your character name, or at least it could be, for 50,000.
Welcome back to MMO Madness Behind the Troll Mask. I'm Boss Mode, and today we're talking about name sniping and character camping. The art of stealing character names and holding them hostage. This is griefing at its pettiest, and somehow it works. Let's explore the psychology and economics of name warfare. Before we get into name sniping operations, let's talk about why character names matter so much and why people get so invested in them. Character names are identity in MMOs. Your name is how people know you. It's on every chat message, every kill, every achievement. It's your brand, your reputation, and your persona. A good name becomes synonymous with who you are in the game world. Some players spend hours, even days, planning their perfect name. They want something that sounds cool, fits their character fantasy, is memorable, and isn't already taken. When you finally find that perfect name and someone else has it, it's genuinely frustrating. There's also the lore connection. In fantasy MMOs, people want names from the source material. Arthas, Thrall, Aragorn, Legolas. These names carry weight. They're instantly recognizable. Having one of these names gives you a certain cachet, even if everyone knows you're not the real one. For role players, names are even more important. Your name is a part of your character concept. You've built a backstory, a personality, a whole identity around this name. If someone else has it, you can't fully realize your character. You either compromise your vision or start over. Then there's the competitive aspect. In PvP or competitive raiding, having a memorable name matters. Shadowblade ganked you is more memorable than Dark 420 ganked you. People remember and fear the right name. It becomes psychological warfare. And there's simple ownership pride. I got the name Death on this server. I'm the Death. It's bragging rights. You have something others want and can't have. That exclusively feels good. Name sniping exploits all of this psychology. Snipers know that people are emotionally invested in names. They know people will pay real money or in-game gold for the right name. They turn that emotional attachment into profit. The economics are simple. A popular name on a server might be worth 50,000 to 100,000 gold to the right buyer. If you can snipe 20 popular names on server launch, that's potentially millions of gold or hundreds of real dollars. Some name snipers operate as businesses. They have scripts that auto-create characters with desirable names the second the servers launch. They're not playing. They're harvesting names to sell. It's digital real estate speculation. And the really malicious snipers do it just for control and denial. They don't want the names. They don't plan to sell them. They just want to prevent others from having them. That's pure spite. If I can't use every good name, I'll make sure no one else can either. What makes name sniping particularly insidious is that it's low effort, high impact griefing. Creating a character takes 30 seconds. Denying someone their perfect name affects them for years. The effort to damage ratio is incredibly efficient. Alright, let's get into the stories. These are name sniping operations that became infamous for their scale, audacity, or impact. This is from World of Warcraft when new servers launched during vanilla. A player created characters on every new server with every single original 151 Pokemon names. Pikachu, Charizard, Mewtwo, all of them. They didn't play these characters, they just logged in once to secure the name, then logged off forever. They had hundreds of characters across dozens of servers, all level 1, all named after Pokemon. When players whispered asking for the names, the sniper would offer them for sale, but only for real money through PayPal. They were running a Pokemon name ransom operation across the entire game. Blizzard eventually caught on and forced name releases on characters that haven't logged in for extended periods. But for years, this person controlled the Pokemon name market across multiple servers. What made this legendary was the sheer dedication, creating hundreds of characters across dozens of servers, tracking them all, managing the sales. This was a full operation. And it worked. People paid real money for Pokemon names. This one's petty. Two guilds on a WoW server had a rivalry. When one guild announced they were transferring to a different server, their rivals acted fast. The rival guild leader transferred to that server first and created a guild name with the exact same name. Same spelling, same tag, everything. They recruited a few random people just to maintain the guild, then basically abandoned it. When the original guild tried to transfer, they couldn't use their name. It was already taken. They'd been playing under that name for 5 years. Their reputation, their identity, their community, all tied to that name. They tried to negotiate. The name squatter said, "Pay me 500,000 gold or pick a new name." The guild refused on principle. They transferred anyway and had to add a character to their name. Their name became Guild Name 2 instead of their original name. The rivalry had turned into name warfare. The blocking guild didn't even play on that server. They just maintained enough activity to keep the name blocked. Pure spite. Eventually, Blizzard intervened after multiple reports and forced a name change on the blocking guild, but it took months, and the damage to the original guild's brand was done. Final Fantasy has personal and guild housing with estate names. One player on a server bought up multiple houses specifically to control desirable estate names. They'd name their estates things like Muggle's Rest and Crystal Dreams, names people would want for their own estates. Then they'd sell the house at massively inflated prices, advertising the name as the main selling point. Final Fantasy housing is extremely limited, so people who wanted both a house and a good name had to pay this person's inflated prices. They were holding both the physical house and the name hostage. Square Enix couldn't do much because the person was legitimately playing. They owned the houses, paid for them fairly, and maintained activity. The fact that they were using them for name speculation was just clever gameplay. This created a secondary market where estate names had value separate from the property itself. The name Moonlight Manor might add 10 million gil to a house's price just because it was desirable. This is from an RP server in WoW. A player had a well-known RP character named Arathor, with years of established storylines and server reputation. An enemy from past RP drama created similar names on different servers and realms. He used the same name but with special characters. Arathor on different connected realms. They made these characters visible enough to confuse people. Then they started behaving badly while using these names, trolling RP events, being toxic in chat, griefing other players, all while using names similar enough to be confused with the original Arathor. The original Arathor's reputation was damaged. People thought he was the one causing problems. He had to constantly clarify, that's not me, that's an imposter. His years of RP character building were under attack. This is name camping as targeted harassment. The goal wasn't to steal the name, but to dilute and destroy its reputation. And it worked. The original Arathor eventually quit RP because the name was poisoned. When WoW Classic servers launched, professional name snipers were ready. They had scripts, multiple accounts in preparation. Within minutes of the servers going live, hundreds of desirable names were claimed by a coordinated group. They had lists of popular names from pop culture, lore, and generic cool words like death, shadow, storm, blade, all variations claimed instantly. They set up a Discord server to sell the names. Prices ranged from 5,000 gold for common names to 500,000 gold for premium names like Arthas and Ilion. They accepted both gold and real money. Blizzard tried to ban them for selling names, but the snipers were careful. They'd happen to delete a character that coincidentally freed up the name right after payment. No direct name trading, so it was harder to prove TOS violation. This operation made tens of thousands of dollars across all classic servers. It was organized crime, but for character names, and it showed how profitable name sniping could be at scale. This one's unique. A player created a character with a name matching a major esports organization's trademark. Let's say they name their character after a famous gaming team. When that organization wanted to create official characters on that server for events or promotions, the name was taken. The sniper offered to sell it back for 10,000 real dollars. The organization threatened legal action, claiming trademark infringement. The sniper argued that in-game names aren't subject to real-world trademark laws. The case got complicated. Eventually, Blizzard stepped in and gave the name to the organization, citing that they don't allow impersonation of real-world entities. The sniper got nothing. But the attempt showed how brazen name sniping can get, trying to ransom a trademark name back to the company that owns the trademark. That's not just griefing, that's potential legal trouble. Name sniping isn't just about new servers. Let's talk about character camping. Creating characters specifically to block others from transferring or using names. Character camping is when you create a low-level character with a specific name just to prevent someone else from having it. This happens most often when someone knows another player wants to transfer servers or create a new character. The most common scenario is guild drama. Player gets kicked from a guild, threatens to transfer. Guild officers quickly create a character with that player's name on popular transfer destination servers. Now the player can't transfer without changing their name. Or in personal feuds, two players hate each other. One creates a character with the other's name on every server they might transfer to. It's a preemptive strike. You can't escape me because I've blocked your name everywhere. There's also the competitive blocking. Top PvPers or raiders have name recognition. Rivals will camp their names on other servers to prevent them from transferring to compete. If Shadowblade is the best rogue on server A, someone on server B camps the name so Shadowblade can't transfer there. RP communities experience this too. Well-known RP characters can't transfer to new RP servers because someone camped the name. Sometimes it's out of spite. Sometimes because people know the name has value and want to sell it. What makes character camping particularly frustrating is that it requires minimal effort but maximum impact. Creating a level 1 character takes about 2 minutes. It prevents someone from transferring their main character they played for years. And there's almost nothing you can do about it. You can't force someone to delete a character. You can't report them unless they're actively harassing you. They're just playing the game, even if they're playing as creating characters they never use. Some games have name reservation systems to prevent this. Final Fantasy has name blockers that temporarily reserve your name when you delete a character or transfer. But most games don't have these protections. The solution is usually to add a special character or number to your name. Shadowblade becomes Shadowblade with a couple of asterisks, or Shadowblade 1. But that's compromising your identity because someone else is squatting on your name. So how do developers try to prevent name sniping and character camping? And why do they keep failing? The first approach is inactivity name releases. If a character hasn't logged in for 6 months or a year, the name becomes available. This clears out abandoned characters and frees up names. Problem: name campers just log in every few months for 5 minutes. They maintain activity without actually playing. The system is easy to game. Second is level requirements. Some games require characters to reach a certain level before the name is secure. If you're below that level and inactive, the name is released. The problem: campers just power level to the requirement in a few hours, then park the character. And legitimate new players might lose names they're actively using if they don't level fast enough. Third is paid name changes and transfers. If someone has a name you want, you can contact them and negotiate. Developers allow name changes for a fee, so trades can happen. Problem: this monetizes name sniping. It creates an incentive for people to squat on names because they know they can profit. It's essentially condoning the practice. Fourth is unique name systems. Games like Guild Wars 2 use account plus character name systems. Your character might be Shadowblade, but your count is player 1, 2, 3, 4. Multiple people can have the same character name. Problem: this removes name exclusivity entirely. For some players, that defeats the purpose. They want the Shadowblade, not just a Shadowblade. Fifth is preemptive strikes. When new servers launch, some games give veterans or pre-orders early name reservation. You can claim your name before general launch. Problem: this just moves the sniping to the reservation period, and it creates a pay-to-win name system where people who spend money get it first. Sixth is the EVE Online approach. Names must be unique across the entire game, not just per server. This prevents some sniping since you can only claim a name once globally. Problem: with millions of players, finding any available name becomes nearly impossible. You're forced into weird spelling or adding numbers. The fundamental problem is that name scarcity creates value, and value creates markets. As long as good names are limited, people will try to control and profit from them. Developers can't fix this without either removing name uniqueness, which many players hate, or constantly policing name camping, which requires enormous resources, so name sniping continues. So let's talk about what name sniping actually does to players beyond just annoyance. First, it destroys identity attachment. You've played as Shadowblade for 5 years. That's your identity. If you transfer servers and can't have that name, you're not you anymore. You're just Shadowblade with an asterisk or Shadowblade 2. It just feels wrong. Second, it creates financial barriers. If you want your name badly enough, you might pay the sniper. That's real money or in-game gold you shouldn't have to spend. You're being extorted for something as basic as your character identity. Third, it affects the community recognition. Your reputation is tied to your name. If you're forced to change it, people don't recognize you. Your achievements, your friendships, your server presence, all tied to a name that now is someone else's. Fourth, it damages RP character concepts. RPers build entire identities around names. Being forced to change kills the character concept. You either compromise your vision or quit the character entirely. Fifth, it creates stress and frustration. You're planning to transfer, excited for new content, then you find out your name is camped. Now you have to decide, pay the ransom, change your name, or don't transfer. All bad options. And sixth, it makes new players quit. Imagine being new to an MMO, creating your first character, and the first thing you experience is every name you want is taken by level 1 characters that never play. That's a terrible first impression. The name snipers will say, it's just a game, get over it. But that dismisses how much identity matters in persistent online worlds. Your name is your brand. It does matter. And the practice wouldn't exist if names didn't matter. The snipers know it matters. That's why they do it. They're exploiting emotional attachment for profit or spite. Name sniping is griefing at its pettiest. It requires minimal effort and creates maximum frustration. It turns something as simple as a character creation into psychological warfare. If you're a name sniper, you're not a clever entrepreneur. You're a parasite exploiting other players' emotional investment in their characters. Holding names hostage isn't gameplay, it's extortion. And if you're a developer, understand that name systems need better protection. Inactivity releases aren't enough. Consider name reservation systems for transfers. Create grace periods. Don't let name camping ruin a player experience. Names matter in MMOs. They're how we express identity, build reputation, and connect with the communities. When someone squats on your name just to deny it to you or sell it back to you, they're attacking your identity. Next week on MMO Madness Behind the Troll Mask, we're diving into the fake streamer scandal. When influencers are frauds. When talking about streamers who faked gameplay, bought follows, staged drama, and built careers on lies. You definitely don't want to miss it. If you enjoyed this episode, please like, share, and support the podcast. Tell your guildmates, share it on your Discord, and leave us a review. And if you've got a name sniping story, lost a name, or camped one yourself, email us at podcast@mmomadness.com. Until then, protect your identity, report name squatters, and remember, your name is more than just text. I'm Boss Mode, and thanks for listening.